The stars looked cold and empty as Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship. The UE Defiant was not the biggest ship in space, but it was his ship. His crew trusted him, and he would not let them down. "Captain, we are getting close." "To the meeting point," said Lieutenant Amy Carter from her station. She was young but smart, and her fingers moved quickly over the control panels. Jake nodded and looked at the main screen. Soon they would meet the Zephyrian fleet. The aliens had sent a message to Earth 3 days ago. They said humans had entered their space without permission. They wanted Earth to surrender or face war. Earth's government had talked for hours about what to do. Some wanted to fight with the whole fleet. Others wanted to negotiate. But Jake had a different idea. He asked to take just one ship to meet them. Just one ship to show the aliens what humans could do. "Sir, I'm reading multiple ships ahead," said Commander Paul Bennett. He was Jake's second in command and had been with him for 5 years. "The computer says there are over 200 enemy vessels." Jake smiled, but it was not a happy smile. 200 ships to face one human ship. They must be very scared of us. The bridge crew laughed a little, but Jake could see worry in their eyes. 200 ships was a lot, even for the Defiant. But Jake had faith in his crew and his ship. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the alien fleet," Amy said. "They want to talk to you." "Put it on screen," Jake said. The main screen changed, and Jake saw his first Zephyrian. The alien looked like a giant lizard with blue and silver scales. Its eyes were yellow and cold. When it spoke, its voice was deep and scary. "Human Captain, I am Admiral Kethfer of the Zephyrian Empire. You have entered our sacred space without permission. This is a crime that must be punished." Jake stood straight and looked at the alien. "Admiral, I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Defiant. We came here to talk, not to fight." The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "Talk? You send one small ship to talk to the great Zephyrian Empire? This is an insult." "No insult was meant," Jake said calmly. "We came to show respect. One ship shows we want peace." "Peace?" Admiral Kethfer's yellow eyes seemed to glow. "There can be no peace between the Empire and humans. You are weak. You are nothing. Your ship is ugly and small. Your people are soft mammals who should serve us." Jake felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. "Admiral, humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We learned a long time ago that size does not always win battles." The alien admiral looked at something off screen, then back at Jake. "You amuse me, human. My fleet has 237 ships. Each one is bigger than your tiny vessel. Each one has weapons that could turn your world to ash. And you think you can face us?" "I think," Jake said slowly, "that you have made a mistake. You think humans are weak because we look different from you. You think we are stupid because our ships look simple, but you have never fought humans before." Admiral Kethfer leaned forward. "Are you threatening me, little human?" "I am telling you the truth," Jake replied. "Leave human space. Leave our colonies alone. Go back to your empire and forget about us. If you do this, no one has to die today." The alien's laugh was like breaking glass. "You are funnier than I thought. One ship against my fleet, and you. Make demands? I will enjoy watching you burn." The transmission ended, and the bridge was quiet for a moment. "Well, that went well," said Dr. Corinne Phillips from the science station. She was trying to joke, but Jake could hear the worry in her voice. "Captain," Commander Bennett said, "their fleet is moving into attack formation. They are surrounding us." Jake walked to the center of the bridge and looked at his crew. Amy was checking her communication equipment. Paul was reading the weapon systems. Corinne was studying the enemy ships on her sensors. Chief Engineer Lisa, Martinez was monitoring the ship's power from her station. These were good people. They had families back on Earth. They had dreams and hopes for the future. And they had followed him into space to face an enemy that wanted to destroy everything. They loved. "Listen to me," Jake said to his crew. "The aliens think they know us. They think we are weak and scared. They think one ship cannot fight 200. But they are wrong." He looked at each of them. "We are not here to win a fair fight. We are here to show them that humans do not give up. We are here to prove that when someone threatens our families, our friends, our world, we fight back." "But Captain," Amy said quietly, "how can we fight so many ships?" Jake smiled, and this time it was a real smile. "The same way humans have always fought when the odds were against us. We use our brains. We use our courage. And we remember that we are fighting for something more important than ourselves." He sat down in his captain's chair. "Amy, send a message to Earth. Tell them we are about to engage the enemy. Tell them we will hold the line." "Message sent, sir," Amy said. "Paul, charge all weapon systems. Karen, I want a full scan of every enemy ship. Lisa, give me everything the engines can handle." "All systems ready, Captain," Paul said. Jake looked at the main screen. The Zephyrian ships were forming a perfect circle around the Defiant. They looked like deadly metal flowers floating in space. Each one was bigger than his ship. Each one had enough firepower to destroy a small moon. But Jake was not afraid. He had something the aliens did not understand. He had a crew that would follow him into hell itself. He had a ship built by humans who had learned to turn metal and fire into hope. And he had the knowledge that sometimes the smallest light could drive away the greatest darkness. "Admiral Kethvar," Jake said to the empty space, "you are about to learn why humans have survived every war we have ever fought. You are about to discover what happens when you threaten the people we love." The alien fleet moved closer, their weapons charging with deadly light. But Jake Morrison was ready. His ship was ready. His crew was ready. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin. The Zephyrian ships moved like hungry sharks around the Defiant. Their hulls were smooth and silver, covered in strange symbols that glowed with blue light. Each ship was at least 3 times bigger than Jake's vessel, and their weapons were already pointing at the human ship. "Captain, they are trying to contact us again," Amy said from her station. "Let them talk," Jake replied. He wanted to hear what the aliens had to say, now that they had shown their full strength. Admiral Kethvar appeared on the screen again. This time, he was standing in what looked like a huge command center. Behind him, Jake could see dozens of other Zephyrians working at control stations. They all looked confident and proud. "Human Captain," the Admiral said, "look around you. See the power of the Zephyrian Empire. We have ruled this part of space for 3,000 years. We have destroyed worlds and conquered entire star systems. And now you face us with one small ship." Jake stood up and faced the screen. "Admiral, I see your ships. They are very impressive. But I have a question for you." "What question?" the alien asked. "Have you ever fought humans before?" Admiral Kethvar's yellow eyes narrowed. "We have fought many species, human. All of them fell before our might. All of them learned to fear us. You will be no different." "You did not answer my question." Jake said calmly, "Have you ever fought humans before?" The alien was quiet for a moment. "No, but we have studied your race. You are young. You are weak. You have only been in space for a few hundred years. We have been among the stars for thousands of years." Jake nodded. "That is true. We are young compared to you. But being young does not mean being weak. Sometimes young species learn things that old species forget. And what could you possibly teach us?" The Admiral asked with a laugh. How to fight, Jake said simply. The alien's laugh stopped. You think you can teach us about war? We have conquered half the galaxy. Conquering is easy when you fight weak enemies, Jake replied. But we humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We have learned to fight when we are outnumbered. We have learned to fight when we are outgunned. We have learned to win when winning should be impossible. Admiral Kethver's expression changed. The confidence in his eyes was replaced by something else. Not fear, but uncertainty. You talk too much, human, the alien said. Words will not save you from our weapons. You are right, Jake agreed. Words alone will not save us. But they are not the only weapon we have. The transmission ended, and Jake turned to his crew. Paul, what do the sensors show? Commander. Bennett studied his displays. The enemy ships are armed with plasma cannons and ion torpedoes. Their shields are strong, but they appear to be designed to stop attacks from the front and sides. The rear sections look weaker. And their formation? Jake asked. They are surrounding us in a perfect sphere, classic encirclement tactic. They plan to attack from all sides at once. Jake smiled. A perfect sphere. How predictable. Dr. Phillips looked up from her station. Captain, I have finished analyzing their ship designs. They are built for long-range combat. Heavy weapons, strong shields, but they are not very fast or maneuverable. What about their tactics? Jake asked. Based on their formation and ship design, they prefer to overwhelm enemies with superior firepower. They probably expect us to try to break through their line at the weakest point. Jake nodded. That is exactly what they expect. But we are not going to do what they expect. He walked to the center of the bridge. Amy, open a channel to all stations on the ship. I want everyone to hear this. Channel open, Captain, Amy said. Jake's voice echoed through the entire ship. This is the captain speaking. In a few minutes, we will engage the enemy. They outnumber us 200 to 1. Their ships are bigger, and their weapons are more powerful. But they have made one critical mistake. He paused, looking at his bridge crew. They think they know how humans fight. They think we will try to run or hide or surrender. They are wrong. We are going to show them something they have never seen before. All crew members, prepare for combat. Engineers, I want maximum power to all systems. Weapons teams, load all tubes and charge all energy banks. Medical teams, stand by for casualties. And remember, we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for Earth. We are fighting for every human colony in space. We are fighting for the future of our species. He closed the channel and sat back in his command chair. Lisa, how are the engines? All systems green, Captain, came the reply from the engine room. The fusion reactors are running at 100% efficiency. We can give you everything you need. Good. Paul, are the weapons ready? All weapon systems are loaded and ready to fire, sir. We have enough ammunition for a prolonged engagement. Karen, what about our special systems? Dr. Phillips checked her instruments. The phase drive is charging and will be ready in 2 minutes. The quantum processors are online and functioning normally. All experimental systems are green. Jake nodded. The phase drive was humanity's newest technology. It allowed a ship to move through space in ways that other species thought impossible. The quantum processors could calculate battle tactics faster than any normal computer. These were the weapons that would win the battle. Captain, Amy said, I'm receiving another transmission from the alien fleet. They are giving us one last chance to surrender. Put it through, Jake said. Admiral Kethver's face filled the screen again. Human Captain, you have seen our strength. You know you cannot win. Surrender now, and we will give you a quick death. Refuse, and we will destroy your ship slowly. Your crew will suffer before they die. Jake looked at the alien admiral for a long moment. Admiral, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember that we gave you a chance to leave peacefully. When this is over, when your fleet is defeated, remember that you chose this fight. The alien's eyes widened. You think you can defeat us? You are insane. No, Jake said. Quietly. I am human, and humans do not surrender to bullies. He turned to his crew. Cut the transmission. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. Red lights began flashing throughout the ship. The bridge crew moved quickly to their combat positions. Jake could feel the ship's engines powering up, the vibration running through the deck plates. Captain, Paul said, the enemy fleet is moving. They are closing in for the attack. Jake stood up and looked at the main screen. The Zephyrian ships were moving slowly toward the Defiant, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. They looked like metal predators closing in on their prey. But Jake was not afraid. He had trained for this moment his entire life. His crew was ready. His ship was ready. And he had something the aliens did not expect. Amy, send a message to the enemy fleet. Tell them this is their last warning. Message sent, sir. Jake took a deep breath. Paul, target the lead ship. Karen, prepare the phase drive. Lisa, give me everything you have. All systems ready, Captain, his crew replied. Jake looked at the advancing enemy fleet. 200 ships against one. It should have been impossible. But Jake Morrison had learned long ago that impossible was just another word for difficult. Fire, he said. The battle had begun. The first shots from the Defiant lit up space like lightning. The ship's main guns fired streams of energy that cut through the darkness toward the closest Zephyrian vessel. The alien ship's shields flared bright blue as the human weapons hit them. Direct hit on the lead ship, Paul reported. Their shields are down to 60%. But the Zephyrians were not sitting still. Dozens of their ships opened fire at once, sending waves of plasma bolts toward the Defiant. The space around the human ship filled with deadly energy. Evasive maneuvers, Jake ordered. The Defiant suddenly spun to the left, its engines blazing. The ship moved faster than the aliens expected, dodging most of the incoming fire. A few plasma bolts hit the hull, but the human shields held. Shields at 80%, Karen reported. Hull damage is minimal. Jake smiled. The Zephyrians were good shots, but they were aiming where the Defiant had been, not where it was going. Human ships were built to move quickly and change direction fast. The alien ships were bigger and more powerful, but they were also slower. Paul, fire at will. Target their weapon systems. Yes, sir. The Defiant's guns fired again and again. Each shot aimed at a different enemy ship. The human weapons were not as big as the alien guns, but they were faster and more accurate. Paul and his weapon teams had trained for years to hit small, fast targets. The big alien ships were easy to hit. 3 enemy ships have lost main weapons, Paul reported. 2 more have shield failures. Admiral Kethfor's voice came over the communication system. All ships, focus fire on the human vessel. Do not let it escape. The Zephyrian fleet changed formation, trying to surround the Defiant more closely. But Jake had expected this. Karen, activate the phase drive, now. Phase drive activated, Dr. Phillips said. Suddenly, the Defiant seemed to fade away. The ship became like a ghost, existing in normal space and somewhere else at the same time. The alien weapons passed right through it without doing any damage. What is happening? Admiral Kethfor shouted over the radio. Where did they go? For 30 seconds, the Defiant was invisible to the alien sensors, but Jake could still see them. His ship moved through their formation like a shark swimming through. A school of fish. Phase drive disengaging, Karen said. We are back in normal space. The Defiant appeared right in the middle of the Zephyrian fleet. The alien ships were all around it, but they were facing the wrong way. Their weapons were pointing outward, expecting the human ship to attack from outside their formation. Fire. All weapons. Jake ordered. The Defiant's guns blazed in all directions. Missiles launched from hidden tubes. Energy beams cut through alien hulls. The human ship was like a deadly flower blooming in the center of the enemy fleet. 6 Zephyrian ships exploded in the first 10 seconds. Their hulls could not handle the human weapons at close range. 8 more ships lost power and drifted helplessly in space. Impossible, Admiral Kethfer whispered. How can one ship do this? Jake heard the alien's words and opened a communication channel. Admiral, you wanted to know how humans fight. This is how we fight. We do not stand still and trade shots. We move. We adapt. We think. The Defiant spun around and fired at 3 more enemy ships. Its movements were so fast that the alien gunners could not track it. Every time they tried to aim, the human ship was somewhere else. All ships ram the human vessel, Admiral Kethfer ordered. If we cannot shoot it, we will crush it. The Zephyrian ships turned toward the Defiant, their engines blazing. They were trying to hit the human ship with their hulls, using their size and weight as weapons. But Jake had fought this kind of battle before. During the war with the Mars colonies, enemy ships had tried the same tactic. He knew what to do. Lisa, give me maximum power to the engines. Amy, calculate escape vectors for all enemy ships. Calculations complete, Captain, Amy said. Paul, fire the gravity mines. Full spread. Small devices shot out from the Defiant in all directions. They looked harmless, but each one contained a tiny artificial black hole. When they exploded, they would create gravity fields that could pull ships off course. The first Zephyrian ship hit a gravity mine and spun out of control. Its hull twisted and bent as the gravity field tore at it. The ship's crew screamed as they were pulled in different directions. What kind of weapons are these? Admiral Kethfer demanded. The kind that humans make when someone threatens our families, Jake replied. More alien ships hit the gravity mines. Their perfect formation broke apart as ships were pulled in different directions. Some crashed into each other. Others spun away into empty space. The Defiant moved through the chaos like a dancer, its guns firing constantly. Every shot hit its target. Every missile found its mark. The human ship seemed to know where every enemy vessel would be before they got there. Captain, Karen said, the quantum processors are working perfectly. They are calculating the enemy's movements faster than the aliens can think. Jake nodded. The quantum processors were one of humanity's greatest inventions. They could process information faster than any normal computer. In battle, they could predict what the enemy would do before the enemy knew it themselves. How many enemy ships are left? Jake asked. 147, Paul said. We have destroyed or disabled 90 ships in the first engagement. Admiral Kethfar's voice crackled over the radio. Retreat! All ships, retreat to defensive positions. The Zephyrian fleet began to pull back, their confidence shattered. They had expected an easy victory against one small human ship. Instead, they had lost almost half their force in less than an hour. Should we pursue them, Captain? Paul asked Jake. Thought for a moment. No, let them regroup. They need to understand what they are facing. He opened a channel to the alien fleet. Admiral Kethfer, this is Captain Morrison. You have lost 90 ships. Your fleet is broken. This is your last chance to leave peacefully. Never, the alien admiral replied. The Zephyrian Empire does not surrender to inferior species. Then, you have chosen your fate, Jake said sadly. I gave you every chance to avoid this. He turned to his crew. All stations prepare for the second phase. They will be more careful now, but they will still attack. And when they do, we will be ready. The Defiant moved away from the wreckage of the alien ships. Around them, the surviving Zephyrian vessels were forming a new battle line. They were more spread out now, more cautious. But they were also angry and desperate. "Captain," Amy said, "I am picking up transmissions from the alien fleet. They are calling for reinforcements." "How many?" Jake asked. "At least 3 more fleets. Maybe 1,000 ships total." Jake was quiet for a moment. 1,000 ships was a lot, even for the Defiant. But he had known this might happen. The aliens would not give up easily. "Then we will have to end this quickly," he said. "Karen, prepare the Cascade Protocol." Dr. Phillips looked surprised. "Captain, are you sure?" "We have never tested it in actual combat." "I am sure," Jake replied. "It is. Time to show them what humans are really capable of." The Cascade Protocol was humanity's most secret weapon. It was not a gun or a bomb, but something far more dangerous. It was information. Pure, devastating information that would show the aliens exactly what they were fighting. "Protocol ready, Captain?" Karen said. Jake looked at the regrouping alien fleet. They thought they could win through numbers and firepower. They were about to learn that humans had been fighting wars longer than their entire civilization had existed. "Execute the Cascade Protocol," Jake ordered. The real battle was about to begin. A thin beam of energy shot out from the Defiant toward the Zephyrian flagship. It was not a weapon in the normal sense. It did not explode or burn. Instead, it carried something far more dangerous than any bomb. Knowledge. The beam hit the flagships communication array and spread through the alien ship's computer system like water flowing through cracks in a wall. Within seconds, it had jumped every other ship in the fleet, carrying its deadly cargo of information. Admiral Keth-4 was studying battle plans when his command screen suddenly changed. Instead of star charts and weapon reports, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Images began flowing across the screen. Pictures of human soldiers fighting in muddy trenches. Videos of human ships battling in the darkness of space. Records of every war humanity had ever fought, from the first stone weapons to the latest plasma cannons. "What is this?" the Admiral demanded, but his crew could not answer. They were all staring at their own screens, watching the same terrible display. The images showed humans fighting when they were outnumbered 10-1. Humans winning battles when they should have lost. Humans never giving up, never surrendering, never stopping until their enemies were defeated. But it was not just the pictures that scared the aliens. It was the numbers. Cold, hard mathematics that showed exactly how humans fought. Battle plans that were hundreds of years old, but still worked perfectly. Strategies that had been tested in 1,000 wars and proven successful every time. "Turn it off," Admiral Keth-4 shouted. "Turn off all screens." But it was too late. The Cascade Protocol was not just showing them human history. It was teaching their computers how to think like humans. The alien battle computers were learning human tactics, human strategies, human ways of thinking about war. And what they learned terrified them. On the Defiant, Jake watched the alien fleet's formation begin to waver. The enemy ships were moving randomly, their perfect order breaking down as their crews struggled to understand what they were seeing. "The Cascade Protocol is working," Karen reported. "Their computers are processing the information faster than their crews can handle it." Jake nodded. The Cascade Protocol was designed to overwhelm enemy systems with too much information. But it was not random information. It was the complete military history of humanity, compressed into a form that alien computers could understand. "Captain," Amy said, "I am receiving panicked communications from the alien fleet. They are trying to shut down their computer systems. Too late, Jake said. The information is already in their heads. They know what they are facing now. Admiral Kethvar's voice came over the radio, but it was different now. The confidence was gone, replaced by fear and confusion. Human Captain, what have you done to us? Jake opened a communication channel. I have shown you the truth, Admiral. You wanted to know how humans fight. Now you know. This is impossible, the alien said. No species can have fought so many wars and survived. We did not just survive, Jake replied. We learned. Every war taught us something new. Every battle made us stronger. Every defeat showed us how to win the next time. But the numbers, Admiral Kethvar said weakly. Your species has been at war for thousands of years. How do you live with so much death? Jake was quiet for a moment. Because we fight for something bigger than ourselves. We fight to protect the people we love. We fight to build a better future for our children. And we fight because sometimes violence is the only way to stop evil. The alien fleet was in chaos now. Ships were breaking formation, their crews overwhelmed by the flood of information. Some ships were trying to retreat. Others were firing randomly at empty space. Admiral, Jake said, you still have a choice. Order your fleet to withdraw. Leave human space and never return. Do this, and no more of your people have to die. Never. Admiral Kethvar said, but his voice was shaking. The Zephyrian Empire does not retreat from inferior species. Then you have learned nothing, Jake said sadly. Karen, initiate the final phase. Dr. Phillips looked at her instruments. Captain, the quantum processors are ready. All systems are green. Jake stood up and walked to the center of the bridge. All crew, this is the captain. We are about to show the enemy something they have never seen before. Something that will end this battle and protect our homes forever. He looked at his crew. These brave men and women had followed him into an impossible fight. They had trusted him with their lives. Now he would show them why that trust was not misplaced. Activate the quantum multiplier, Jake ordered. The Defiant began to change. Its hull shimmered like water, and suddenly there were 2 ships where there had been one. Then 4. Then 8. Within minutes, dozens of identical ships surrounded. The alien fleet. Impossible, Admiral Kethvar whispered. How can one ship become many? Jake's voice came from every direction at once. Because humans do not think like you do. We do not see one ship or many ships. We see possibilities. We see what could be, not just what is. The quantum multiplier was humanity's greatest secret. It created copies of the Defiant in parallel dimensions, all connected to the original ship. Each copy was real. Each one could fight. Each one was controlled by Jake and his crew. All ships, engage the enemy, Jake commanded. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Dozens of human ships moved as one mind, fighting with perfect coordination. They attacked from all directions at once, their weapons striking with deadly accuracy. The Zephyrian fleet tried to fight back, but they were facing an enemy that existed in multiple realities at the same time. Every time they destroyed one human ship, 2 more took its place. This is not possible, Admiral Kethvar screamed. Physics does not work this way. Human physics does, Jake replied. We learned long ago that the universe is bigger than most species imagine. We learned to use that knowledge. One by one, the alien ships were destroyed or disabled. Their weapons could not hit targets that existed in multiple dimensions. Their shields could not stop attacks that came from parallel realities. Please, Admiral Kethvar said finally, we surrender. Call off your attack. Jake thought for a moment. You threatened to destroy our colonies. You called us weak and inferior. You said you would turn our worlds to ash. Why should I show you mercy? Because, the alien said desperately, we were wrong. We understand now. Humans are not weak. You are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. No, Jake said firmly. We are not dangerous. We are protective. There is a difference. The quantum copies of the Defiant began to fade away, one by one, until only the original ship remained. The alien fleet was broken, their ships drifting helplessly in space. Admiral, Jake said, I am going to let you live. I am going to let your surviving ships return to your empire. But you will carry a message for me. What message? Admiral Kethfer asked. Tell your people that humans offer friendship to those who come in peace. Tell them that we will trade with them, learn from them, share the wonders of the galaxy with them. But also tell them this. If they come to our worlds with weapons, if they threaten our families, if they try to enslave us or destroy us, they will face the consequences. Jake paused, looking at the wreckage of the alien fleet. Tell them that. We did not want this fight, but we were ready for it. And we will always be ready. Admiral Kethfer nodded slowly. I will tell them. But Captain, you must understand. Other empires will hear about this. They will come to test your strength. Let them come, Jake said. We will be here. We will be ready. And we will show them what we showed you. The humans do not surrender, do not give up, and do not allow bullies to hurt innocent people. The surviving Zephyrian ships began to move away, limping back toward their home space. They carried with them the knowledge of their defeat and the memory of what they had faced. Jake turned to his crew. Well done, everyone. We have sent a message that will echo across the galaxy. Now let's go home. The Defiant turned toward Earth, its mission complete. Behind them, the stars seemed brighter, as if the universe itself was celebrating the victory. Of the small over the large, the brave over the cruel, the protectors over the destroyers. 3 months after the battle, Captain Jake Morrison stood in his quarters looking out at the stars. The Defiant was heading back to Earth after completing a patrol of the outer colonies. The ship had been repaired and upgraded, but Jake still remembered every moment of the fight with the Zephyrian fleet. Captain, came Amy's voice over the intercom, we are receiving a priority message from Earth Command. Jake walked to the bridge and sat in his command chair. Put it through, Amy. Admiral Susan Clark appeared on the main screen. She was the head of Earth's space fleet, and Jake had known her for many years. Her face was serious, but Jake could see pride in her eyes. Captain Morrison, I have news from across the galaxy. The Zephyrian Empire has fallen. Jake leaned forward. Fallen? What happened? After your battle, Admiral Kethfor returned to his home world and reported what he had seen. The Zephyrian government refused to believe him. They said no single ship could defeat their great fleet. They accused him of lying or cowardice. Admiral Clark continued. But the proof was in the wreckage. The destroyed ships, the recordings of the battle, the testimony of the surviving crews. The Zephyrian people learned the truth about what happened. And they rebelled, Jake said, understanding. Exactly. The people had been told for centuries that their empire was invincible. When they learned that one human ship had destroyed their greatest fleet, they realized their leaders had been lying to them. Revolutions broke out on dozens of worlds. The empire that had lasted 3,000 years collapsed in 3 months. Jake was quiet for a moment. What about Admiral Kethfer? He survived. He is now leading the new Zephyrian Republic. He sent a message specifically for you. Admiral Clark's expression softened. He said to tell you that he was wrong about humans. He said you taught him that true strength comes not from the size of your fleet, but from the courage of your heart. Jake nodded slowly. And what about the other empires? You said they would come to test us. Some have tried, Admiral Clark said with a slight smile. A Corellian battle group attacked our mining station on Titan II last month. They brought 50 ships. What happened? Commander Lisa Martinez and the UES Thunder met them. She used the same tactics you developed. The Corellians retreated after losing 30 ships. They sent a message saying they wanted to negotiate a peace treaty. Jake felt a mix of pride and sadness. Pride that his crew and his tactics were protecting human colonies. Sadness that more battles had to be fought. "Captain," Admiral Clark continued, "the galaxy is changing. Word of your victory has spread to every corner of known space. Some species are afraid of us now. Others want to be our allies. A few are angry and want revenge. What are your orders, Admiral?" "Keep doing what you have been doing. Patrol the colonies. Protect our people. Show the galaxy that humans are not conquerors, but we will not be conquered." The transmission ended, and Jake sat back in his chair. Through the viewports, he could see the stars stretching out to infinity. Somewhere out there, other species were watching, waiting, deciding whether to approach humanity with friendship or hostility. "Captain," Dr. Phillips said from her station, "I am picking up a distress signal. It is not from a human ship." Jake looked at the main screen. "Put it through." The voice that came through the speakers was high and musical, unlike anything Jake had heard before. "This is Captain Zara of the Altarian research vessel Bright Hope. We are under attack by unknown vessels. Our shields are failing. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need help." "Origin of the signal?" Jake asked. 2 hours away at maximum speed, Paul reported. The attackers appear to be using Vorthan technology. Jake knew about the Vorthans. They were a species that attacked. Other ships for sport, caring nothing for the lives they destroyed. They were exactly the kind of bully that Jake had sworn to stop. "Amy, send a message to the Altarian ship. Tell them help is coming." "Message sent, Captain." Jake stood up and looked at his crew. "All hands, prepare for battle. We have people to save." The Defiant changed course and accelerated toward the distress signal. Jake had learned something important during the battle with the Zephyrians. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy, but they might be the bravest. And sometimes, courage was more powerful than any weapon. 2 hours later, the Defiant arrived at the battle scene. The Altarian ship was small and damaged, its hull scarred by energy weapons. 3 larger Vorthan ships were circling it like vultures, taking turns firing at the helpless vessel. "Vorthan. Ships, this is Captain Morrison of the UES Defiant," Jake said over the radio. "Stop your attack and withdraw immediately." The reply came in a rough, angry voice. "Human ship, this is not your concern. The Altarians are our prey. Leave now, or we will destroy you too." "I am afraid I cannot do that," Jake replied. "You are attacking innocent people." "That makes it my concern," the Vorthan commander laughed. "One human ship against 3 Vorthan hunters? You are brave but stupid. We have heard stories about your kind, but we do not believe them." "Then let me show you the truth," Jake said. The battle that followed was different from the fight with the Zephyrians. The Vorthans were skilled fighters, their ships fast and deadly. But they had made the same mistake as the Zephyrians. They thought one human ship could not defeat 3 alien vessels. The Defiant moved like a dancer through space, its weapons firing with deadly accuracy. The human crew worked together perfectly, each person doing their job without hesitation. Paul targeted the enemy weapons. Karen used the sensors to predict their movements. Amy coordinated with the damaged Altarian ship. Lisa pushed the engines beyond their normal limits. Within 30 minutes, 2 of the Vorthan ships were destroyed, and the 3rd was fleeing into deep space. The Altarian ship was safe. "Captain Morrison," came the musical voice over the radio. "This is Captain Zara. We cannot thank you enough. You saved our lives." "It was our duty," Jake replied. "Are your people injured?" "Some, But we will survive. Captain, may I ask you something? Of course. We have heard stories about humans. Stories about your battle with the Zephyrian Empire. Some say you are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Others say you are the most noble. Which is true? Jake thought for a moment. Both, I suppose. We are dangerous to those who threaten innocent people, but we try to be noble to those who need help. I understand, Captain Zara said. Captain Morrison, I would like to invite you to visit our world. Our people would be honored to meet the humans who saved us. Perhaps someday, Jake said, but for now, we have work to do. The Defiant escorted the Altarian ship to the edge of their space, then continued on its patrol. Jake sat in his command chair, watching the stars and thinking about the future. The galaxy was a big place, full of different species with different ideas about right and wrong. Some, like the Zephyrians, believed that might made right. Others, like the Altarians, just wanted to explore and learn. And some, like the Vorthans, enjoyed causing pain and fear. But Jake had learned something important. Humans had a choice. They could be like the Zephyrians, using their strength to conquer and control. They could be like the Altarians, staying peaceful and avoiding conflict. Or they could be something new, protectors who used their strength to help others. Captain, Amy said, we are receiving a transmission from the Altarian government. They want to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. Jake smiled. Send their message to Earth Command. Tell them we recommend accepting their offer. Yes, sir. As the Defiant continued its journey through space, Jake reflected on how much had changed since that first confrontation with the Zephyrian fleet. The galaxy was no longer a place where might automatically made right. Other species were learning that humans would not be bullied, but they would also not become bullies themselves. Captain, Paul said, sensors are picking up 3 ships approaching from the outer rim. They are broadcasting the identification codes of a Zephyrian diplomatic mission. Jake looked at the main screen. Put them through. The face that appeared was familiar. Admiral Kethvor, but he looked different now. The arrogance was gone, replaced by dignity and respect. Captain Morrison, this is Admiral Kethvor of the Zephyrian Republic. I request permission to speak with you. Permission granted, Admiral. It is good to see you again. Captain, I bring greetings from my people and an invitation. The Zephyrian Republic would like to propose a mutual defense treaty with Earth. We have learned much about honor and courage from your example. Jake felt a surge of hope. That sounds like something our governments should discuss, Admiral, but I think it is a good idea. There is something else, Kethvor continued. We have received reports of a new threat. A species called the Devourers is moving through the outer rim, destroying everything in their path. They do not negotiate. They do not take prisoners. They simply consume. Jake leaned forward. What do you propose? An alliance? Humans, Zephyrians, Altarians, and any other species willing to stand against this threat. Together, we might be able to stop them. Jake thought about the proposal. A few months ago, these same aliens had been enemies. Now they wanted to fight alongside humanity against a common threat. Admiral, I will recommend that Earth consider your proposal. But I will also tell you this. Whether we have allies or not, humans will stand against any force that threatens innocent people. I know Yo,